Okay, it's another video from the angry photographer here. I did a deep web search recently over a large number of sites, and I'm just furiously angry. I mean, just mad as hell. I knew this existed, obviously so, but I had no idea that it was actually this bad. I mean, I knew it was bad. It's kind of like thinking, well, hell is bad, but then you get there, it's like, oh, geez, this is, not that I believe in hell. This is really, really rancid. I mean, this is just horrible. Um, these lens recommendations, let's look at this. 5 lenses you must have for your Nikon D7000. Okay, I want to talk about a DX camera here. So, I do recommend FX lenses be purchased. Sometimes, and typically so, they're a lot cheaper used than DX lenses and better resale value. And if you ever get an FX camera in the future, then you're set. But let's look at this stupidity. And by no means is this an exception. Uh, to state off to begin with, obviously there are only two reasons why people on websites like this make these recommendations, and it's either option A or B or a combination of both. A would be stupidity, someone with very limited experience or a gear whore, and B is that it's on a website where they're trying to pimp stuff that you directly link to a purchase, and of course they get, a kickback on the back end. So it's more than likely be a kickback, but it's unquestionably that on a lot of these sites it is genuine stupidity. So this is what this moron is recommending, and this is an across-the-board example. This is by no means a special exception here. So let's look at why people are so pissed that lenses cost so much, and let's see why I've got the best lens recommendations on the internet. And I don't say that lightly. He's recommending a 50mm f1.4G. Insane overkill, not constructed that extremely well. Way too much overkill for a DX camera. He's only recommending this for a D7000. Um, Absolutely ridiculous. I would recommend, of course, a Nikkor 50mm f1.8. The lens he's recommending is $400 new or $200 roughly used. The lens that I'm recommending is 90 bucks all day long. Here's an example. You typically can actually find it for like 70 or 80 bucks. So here we go. Here's the one I recommend. So we're talking about 80 bucks versus 400 bucks, or even his used version is $200. Now his next recommendation for a D7000, no less, absolutely bloody insane. And not only that, he's got overlap with the 12 to 24 down here. He's recommending the 16 to 35 f4 EDVR. This is a great lens. It's one big heavy honker. It's insane overkill for a DX camera, but if you plan to upgrade to FX, that's perfectly fine and a logical premise. But this is not the lens to recommend. He's got overlap down here on the one lens that I would recommend, the 12 to 24. But this lens, I mean, I love it, and I have the 16 to 35 f4 EDVR. But I mean, this lens new is $1,200 and roughly $800 used. Absolute stinking, just rancid insanity. So let's skip down one lens here to the one lens that he recommends that I do recommend, the Nikkor 12 to 24 fixed f4. EDIF, and now typically you can grab one of those for this one's 540, but you can grab one for 440, 450 all day long. Right now there aren't any super cheap examples on eBay. But even the 16 to 35 used is $800 that this idiot's recommending. Just insane overkill. Now here's another stupid example in his 5 lenses you must own. And that's a 70 to 200 millimeter 2.8 EDVR2. It's a $2,400 lens, absolutely insane, used about $1,500 to $1,600. This is insane overkill for a DX camera. Now, if you plan on upgrades, like, well, I'm going to buy an FX lens, that's fine, but it still would not be this choice. Absolutely would not be. It would be a used 80 to 200 2.8. Now, if you're a wedding photographer and you want something faster, the recommendation would be like a Tamron 70 to 200 VC 2.8. That's a new $1,500 used. about $900, depending on where you get it from. Like I said, here's a perfect pristine example from Japan for 570 bucks. Basically, shipping is target $600 shipped. Okay, uh, plenty examples like this. Superior image quality, superior depth, color saturation. Now, all these this idiot's list. Like I said, this is a perfect example, and they're all across the board, just like this moron. All of these lenses, if you were to buy them new, by this idiot's recommendation, and it's just genuine stupidity that just makes me want to spit blood, is $6,000 plus or minus just a little bit for these 5 lenses. Okay, total bleeping insanity. Okay, $6,000. New. Oh, he's recommending also. Excuse me, down here, the Nikkor 105mm 2.8. That lens new is $1,000. Used is like 600 plus. Absolute stinking rancid insanity. I love Nikon's glass, but it's insane to even think of buying that. The lens recommended, obviously superior quality, only $380, brand new. Better image, better construction, yada yada yada. Takina 100mm 2.8, far superior to the Nikon Nikkor 105mm macro Nikkor. So another extremely stupid recommendation. Just absolutely incredibly stupid. So we're looking at 1,000 here, new, and then the 1224 1,000 on the 70 to 200, $2,400. The 16 to 35 would be a $1,200 roughly new. And on the 50mm, we're talking about $400 new. The total on his 5 lens recommendation is $6,000. Ridiculous. So what say us about all the lenses he recommends used? Okay, I did the total on that, and it's $3,700. Okay, absolutely insane recommendation. Insane. I've got a better recommendation for far cheaper. My used recommendation totals up to 6 lenses, 1 additional lens, and the total is $1,900. His recommendation is $6,000 new and $3,700 used. My recommendation is $1,900 used. Okay? $1,800 less used than his. Oh, gee, well, that's not much money, And what could you do with $1,800 saved and get a lot better lenses? My recommendation would be the 50mm 1.8D, 70, 80 bucks. Even if you pay 90, no big deal. $600 for a Nikkor 80-200 2.8, built like a tank. 600 bucks all day long. Superior color, depth, yada yada yada. Next recommendation, the 12 to 24. This is a high price, typically $450 used. That's the only lens that he actually got right. Instead of the 105mm micro Nikkor, would be the Takina 100mm 2.8. Superior lens, superior construction, $380 new. No need to buy a used one since it's so cheap. Now replacing, he actually had no mid-range zoom there. Typically 200, 2.25 used for the 24-85 3545 VRG lens, which you can see images of down here. I got 3 of those suckers. Excellent Nikon sharpest mid-range zoom. And we're adding a 6th lens. Okay, so we got his 5, replace it with my 5. The only 2 lenses that crossover between his BS recommendation and mine is the 12 to the 12 to 24. That's the only thing you got right. I'm adding a 6 lens onto here, so I'd have a total of 2 prime lenses, and that would be the 200mm f4. This is $130. It's basically 150 bucks shipped, okay, from Japan. Just absolutely incredible. So you got 2 prime lenses here. So we got 6 lenses that I recommend. 50mm 1.8. 80 to 200 2.8, 12 to 24 f4, and the Takina 100mm 2.8 macro, perfect for portrait, perfect for macro. God knows you'll have a lot of fun. I mean, there's got to be something wrong with you if you don't enjoy macro, really. and this was the 24 to 85 Nikon sharpest mid-range zoom. There are a ton of these. It used to be a D600 kit lens, 200, 2.25 used, and adding a 6 lens, the Nikon 200mm f4, 130, 140 bucks. So all of my lenses total, including an additional 6 lens, adds up to $1,900. This idiot gets every recommendation wrong except for one, the 12 to 24. His lenses used total up to $3,700. $1,800 more than mine, and that's only 5 lenses. And I'm including 6. Far, far, far superior recommendation. I mean, people like this just piss the hell out of me. And of course, he's recommending, buying them through his site or clicking on a link where he gets a kickback. The cost on his 5 damn lenses, if you purchase them new, is $6,000 plus. Plus or minus 80 bucks, depending on where you get them from. Let's say plus or minus $100. Okay, $6,000. Versus $1,900 for my lenses, mint used, like new. Okay, $6,000 versus $1,900. That's 5 lenses of his. Horrible, horrible recommendations, all of them except for one. Like I said, I didn't pick this out as a bad example. I mean, this is the example that matches every other example with slight variances. I mean, I swear to God, there isn't a single person on the internet that knows how to help people and give a proper recommendation other than wanting to line their pockets, or they're just stupid. I know it's a combination of both, the stupidity and lining their pockets. Okay, well, nobody's paying me. How about I actually try to save someone a couple bucks? It's like, oh, geez, here's the 5 lenses. This is a really big website. This is what he says I need to buy, so I better start saving. Of course, this costs as much as a good used car, $6,000. Oh, well, there's this other guy's got better recommendations for $1,900. It includes 6 lenses instead of 5. Not only that, I'd be a lot happier. There isn't even a mid-range zoom in this guy's layout. Where's the mid-range zoom? It isn't. He's got overlap. Well, I mean, what the hell is he thinking? A crack-smoking, pathetic mental midget? He's got a 16 to 35 wide zoom and another lens down here to 12 to 24 wide zoom. Oh, Jesus Christ, that's a really good idea. Recommend 2 wide zooms to somebody. Oh, we gotta get top 5 lenses you must have. Why the fuck are you including 2 wide zooms? Excuse my language. Jesus Christ, that pisses me off. I mean, these people are pissing away other people's money. What the hell is wrong with you? Oh, I forgot. It's greed! And a little dash of stupidity on top. Let's sprinkle the croutons of stupidity on the top of a recommendation of greed. We got a salad of greed with some croutons of stupidity. Oh, we're going to throw that on the net. Every lens recommendation out there, like if you type in like top 10 lenses you must have, top 5, everything is like this. Greed and stupidity. I mean, I can't believe that my fat tattooed ass is the only person on the internet that's actually giving logical, sensible, economical, truthful recommendations. I mean, what the hell is wrong with people? Does anybody have any sense of morality or any sense of decency? Well, I may cuss and I may be a little bit crude, but for God's sakes, nobody's got their hand in my pocket, and I'm actually trying to save people money. What's wrong with everybody? Oh, it's greed. Oh, God, I forgot. You're right. It's greed. I left that out. Oh, and stupidity. Oh, yes, don't forget stupidity. Jesus. I did a deep search. Did a deep Google search. I mean, I knew it was bad, but it was actually about twice as bad as I thought it was. So, just pisses the hell out of me. Just wasting people's money. Oh, this is what you gotta have? Oh, look. Oh, Jesus. Ah! Anyway, this is another video from the Angry Photographer. I thought I'd give you a little insight into the evils that lurk on the internet, as if you didn't know there wasn't plenty of evils, but apparently I'm the only person on the internet, and that sounds like a lot of egotism on my part, but apparently I am the only person on the internet that's actually giving out sensible, logical, economical lens recommendations, and not cutting any corners. Anyway, if you like this video, do whatever, and I'm just a little upset, and I'll catch you later, okay? Bye.